Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on a young man who unfortunately took his own life and he won a season of So You Think You Can Dance. His name was Joshua Allen. May he rest in peace. Well, unfortunately, at his funeral last week, a fight broke out. A family member from his mother's side, well, his auntie, okay, from his mother's side. So his mother's sister was upset when the ex-girlfriend, ex-girlfriend according to the auntie, current girlfriend according to her, came to the funeral, bent over in the casket, kissed him goodbye, left a note in the casket, and auntie snatched her up and they got to actually fighting to the point where the cops had to come to this funeral, which is very sad. Well, now the girlfriend is coming out telling her side, saying that he was dealing with mental health issues for a long time. Every time she would, try to go to the cops or whoever she could to get him help, all they would do was arrest him. If you follow the trending topics that I do or just stories in the news, it's just very unfortunate. It seems like the cops, many family members, they call the cops when their family members are having a mental health episode, and unfortunately the cops don't quite know how to handle it. And a lot of these individuals end up being unalived by the cops. Joshua Allen was not unalived by the cops. He took his own life, which is very sad. But the family and the girlfriend knew that he was struggling with mental health situations for a while. So let me share a screen so we could get into her side of the story. So Joshua Allen's funeral, girlfriend speaks out after Open-Casket Brawl. So You Think You Can Dance star Joshua Allen's girlfriend is sharing her side of the fight that broke out at his funeral last weekend, telling TMZ she was invited by family before her aunt allegedly attacked her. So we told you about it. Dy'Zetta Brown had just placed a note on Allen's chest and was kissing him goodbye for the final time when she was grabbed from behind by a woman who Brown says is an aunt on his mother's side of the family in a now infamous video. And this video has played over and over again. I'll stop sharing and I'll share my Instagram screen.
She should not be.
That's the auntie with the hat on that grabbed her and was fighting her.
You make the book up fight like I say. She ain't gotta go to jail. We'll get an Annie, baby. You know your Annie. Look at her.
That's her.
Uh-oh, no. She fighting, they fighting.
Cops there. Cops was called twice. The first time they came and left. The second time they had to end up, staying until the end of the funeral just to make sure nothing happened. And I think that they was mad that there was a restraining order. When a family member is gone, if it's something tragic, and they can't wrap their mind around it, they want someone to blame. And perhaps they're blaming her, but she's not to blame for his mental health issues, right? Police were called to Allen's funeral twice that day, and Brown tells TMZ the viral altercation happened after the first incident when Allen's maternal side of the family told cops she had a restraining order against him. She was not removed from the funeral and tells TMZ she returned to her seat and then walked up to the open casket after standing back to allow the upset family members to have their own time with Allen, distraction free. Brown confirmed she did have a restraining order against Allen at one point, explaining, "I had no control over that decision. I repeatedly told police I didn't want Joshua in jail. I just wanted him to get help. But they said it was out of my hands. The system did what it wanted. not what was best for him. She tells TMZ the 90-day emergency protective order was live from July until September 22nd and was in place due to previous mental health incidents. Brown also says the online chat about her being Allen's ex is completely untrue. They were together for nearly 4 years, and the date of his funeral service, November 8th, marked the first anniversary of them living together, she tells TMZ. She says they were soulmates, gushing. Joshua was the love of my life. We talked about marriage, having children, buying a home, and traveling. Brown adds that they never spent time apart until his arrest over the summer, explaining even then he made it clear he wanted to come back home. We were still in communication. He wanted to work on things. I loved him, and I believed he was trying. That is them again. We broke the news Joshua died in September after being struck by a train. Both Brown and Allen's father, Eddie Powell, told TMZ he struggled with mental health issues before his death. Brown says she tried desperately to get her other half help after she noticed concerning signs during their second year of dating: intense attachment, jealousy, and paranoia. She remembers trying to warn everyone possible about her concerns, from family members and old classmates to the police. She noted, I begged law enforcement to help him with his mental health, not arrest him, but no one listened. 3 days before his death, I contacted his probation officer and told her I was scared. Her response, record him so we can send him back to jail. She believes the system failed Allen and her. She remembers him as a kind and talented individual who has so much to offer the world. TMZ attempted to contact Joshua's maternal side of the family. So far, no word back. Allen rose to fame after winning So You Could Think You Could Dance, season 4 in 2008, where the late Stephen Twist DeBois was the runner-up. He notably starred in 2010's Step Up 3D and 2011's Footloose remake. He was 36 years old when he died. Very sad and very unfortunate. Like I said, no one quite knows how to help people who are dealing with mental health issues. I think that, I don't know if it perhaps needs to be more research. I don't know what to do in this particular area, but I do know this, that unfortunately, like once they become an adult, another adult, can do but so much to help them, because you can't force an adult to do something they don't want to do. I believe, and I'm not a doctor and I'm not Kanye West doctor. He needs help. But again, if a person is refusing to take their medication, what can you do? Again, not a mental health person, but I feel like Britney Spears needs help. But again, you can't force adults to do something they don't want to do. There's a list of people where, in my mind, they need help. But we can't force adults to get help that they need. They have to be willing to get the help. But the caveat to it is, that's why they're in a mental health crisis, because they can't help themselves. So how do you resolve that vicious cycle of an issue, right? Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this story. I feel for the girlfriend, because I think the mother side of the family is probably trying to blame her that he went to jail. And they're probably thinking, oh, she didn't call the cops, if she didn't do this, he wouldn't have been in that situation. So it seems to me, if I'm reading in between the lines, that side of the family was kind of blaming her, even though she said that side of the family invited her to the funeral. But I guess the auntie felt her own type of way. And, for a grown woman to, at a funeral, snatch somebody from behind and start fighting them is beyond crazy work. Anyway, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. Hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this story. Let me know if you know a friend or a family that is suffering with mental health issues, and you tried to help, and you're kind of at your wits' end because you can't get help for them, or they just don't want to go get the help they need. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button. I'll see you in the next video.